She told our therapist I had anger issues, so I let the court prove otherwise. Now I teach people how to catch liars for a living. When you live with someone for almost 3 years, you start to think you really know them. Their morning habits, the way they argue, how they react under pressure, all of it becomes familiar. So when my girlfriend, Lena, suddenly started acting distant, I chalked it up to stress. She'd been dealing with work deadlines, family drama, and honestly, I thought I might have been part of that stress too. But then one morning, I woke up to about 14 unread messages from friends, coworkers, and even my younger sister. All of them were asking the same thing. Dude, what did you do to Lena? Are you seriously cheating? Why would you post those DMs online? I opened Instagram and my stomach dropped. There, on Lena's story, the same account where she used to post us together, were 3 long screenshots. Fake screenshots, clearly edited, but still convincing enough to look like I'd been messaging some random girl from work. She'd captioned them. Funny how people act so perfect until you see who they really are. Her friends were all commenting. Her mom had even liked it. And just like that, everyone who knew us suddenly thought I was some cheating liar. I called her immediately. She didn't answer. Then I texted, Lena, what the hell is this? 5 minutes later, she called. Her voice was shaking, not from guilt, from fake shock. Babe, I swear, someone hacked my account. I just saw everything now. I didn't post any of that. Her tone was all frantic, all defensive. But the thing is, I work in cybersecurity, and our Wi-Fi network at home, I'm the one who set it up, monitored it, and had full access to the router logs. So while she was giving me her whole victim act, I was already sitting at my desk, typing in the router's admin panel address. The log doesn't lie. The posts on her Instagram, every action tied to her account, came from our home IP address, timestamped at exactly 10:14 p.m. The same night she told me she was going to sleep early. She hadn't been hacked. She'd been careful. She posted everything right from her phone, using our Wi-Fi. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I played dumb. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe we should report it together to Instagram? They might track the IP. Her pause was instant. I already did. They said it'll take a few days. She was lying through her teeth. That night, she went to bed before me. I sat there, quietly pulling the logs, screenshotting every single request that linked her device's MAC address to the time those stories were posted. And the next morning, I sent myself a nice, neat little PDF file titled Lena_logs.pdf. For the next few days, I said nothing. She acted like everything was normal. Cooked dinner, scrolled TikTok next to me on the couch, even kissed me goodnight. But every time she smiled, it looked a little too forced, a little too careful. Like she was waiting for me to explode, and I just didn't. Instead, I watched. At work, people stopped talking when I entered the room. One coworker, the girl in those fake screenshots, avoided me completely. I didn't blame her. The posts had spread beyond Lena's story now. Her friends had reshared them, with captions like, cheaters never change, and girl, you deserve better. And Lena just kept saying, I'm so sorry this happened, babe. I can't believe someone would try to ruin us. But her eyes told a different story. Guilt, fear, maybe even excitement. She liked the attention, the sympathy, the way everyone treated her like a poor, heartbroken woman betrayed by the terrible boyfriend. So I started planning. First, I downloaded all the router logs from that night, and a few days before and after, just in case. I cross-referenced timestamps with her phone's activity using the Google account she'd synced on our shared laptop. Every time she posted, liked, or commented, her device pinged the Wi-Fi. Every single time. Then I saved the Instagram story screenshots, not from my account, but from the people who'd seen them before she deleted them the next morning. I compiled it all into one neat folder. Next, I made sure her family would be home that Sunday. Her parents always did family dinner at 6. Her father, Richard, was old school, serious, logical, the type who didn't like public embarrassment. Her mom, however, was the opposite, emotional and dramatic, the kind who lived for gossip. Perfect audience. 2 days before dinner, Lena came home and said, Dad invited us for Sunday dinner. He said he wants to see you again, you know, after all the drama. I smiled, pretending I didn't already know. Sure, I'd love to go. She smiled back, but her fingers twisted together. She was nervous. Saturday night, she suggested we clear the air before seeing her family. She said, I know it's been weird, babe, but we're good now, right? You believe me about the hacker thing? I looked her dead in the eyes. Of course I do. She exhaled, relieved. I kissed her forehead, told her I loved her, and walked to my office. I wasn't lying. I did love her. Or at least, I loved the version of her I thought existed before she decided to burn my name for sympathy likes. That night, I printed every screenshot, every log, every timestamp, and neatly stapled them into labeled pages. Page 1, Wi-Fi IP address, device log. Page 2, Instagram story timestamps. Page 3, Google Sync activity. Page 4, screenshots of posts. And on the last page, I printed a simple note. Not hacked, just heartless. Sunday came fast. She spent the whole morning choosing her outfit, curling her hair, reapplying perfume. She wanted to look like the picture of innocence when we sat across from her family. Halfway through the drive there, she reached for my hand. I'm really glad you didn't give up on me, she said softly. You're a good man. I smiled. You'll see how good tonight. She laughed, not realizing what I meant. When we pulled into her parents' driveway, I saw her dad's car, her mom's SUV, and even her sister's old Honda. Everyone was home. Perfect. We stepped inside. Her mom greeted me warmly, pretending like the past week hadn't happened. Her dad shook my hand, but there was that cold, evaluating stare, the kind that says I'm watching you. We sat down. Dinner started normally. Small talk, laughter, the smell of roasted chicken and wine filling the room. Then, halfway through, her father set down his fork and said, Lena told us about what happened with your social media. Terrible thing. You two handle it okay. Lena instantly jumped in. Yeah, it was awful. Someone hacked me and tried to ruin us. But we're moving past it now. Her dad nodded slowly. That's good to hear. And that's when I reached into my bag, placed the folder on the table, and slid it toward him. Actually, Richard, there's something you might want to see. Lena froze. Babe, what is that? I didn't look at her. Proof that nobody hacked your account. Her face went pale. Her mother's fork clattered against the plate. What are you talking about? Her dad asked. I opened the folder. The first page stared up at them. The router log, showing the matching IP addresses and timestamps. Her father's eyes narrowed as he read. This is your home Wi-Fi. I nodded. Yes, sir. Every one of those fake posts came directly from her phone. Her mom gasped. Lena reached for the papers, but her father slammed his hand down. Sit down. And for the first time since this whole mess started, she looked terrified. Update 1. It's been 3 weeks since the dinner at her parents' house. And honestly, I still replay it sometimes. Not because I feel proud, but because it was the first time I saw Lena completely drop the act. After I slid the folder across the table, her father went quiet for a long time. Her mother tried to interject, something about, maybe it's all a misunderstanding, but he cut her off. This log literally says Lena's iPhone, he said. Do you know what that means? Lena just sat there, trembling. No more fake tears. No more, I'm the victim. Just silence. She finally stammered. I I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just wanted people to stop thinking he was perfect. That sentence hit me like a hammer. Not because it hurt. I was long past that. But because of how casual it sounded. Like she was explaining away a lie that destroyed my reputation, my friendships, even my peace. Her father leaned back, crossed his arms, and said, You humiliated a man who treated you well because you were jealous of how others saw him. She started crying again, saying she didn't think I'd find out. That's when I stood up. Calmly, quietly. You always underestimate me, Lena. I thanked her parents for dinner, said I'd be sending them copies of the evidence, for their records, and walked out. She didn't follow me. Not that night. Not the next day. But then the call started. First 1, then 5, then 15. Voicemails filled with every emotional phase you can imagine. Denial, anger, bargaining, guilt. You embarrassed me in front of my parents. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we please talk? Please, I'll delete everything. I love you. I never replied. Then came the twist. Her father called me. He apologized, sincerely, for ever believing her lies. He said he'd already called the families of a few mutual friends to clear things up. Apparently, word was spreading fast that she'd faked the entire thing, that she'd used being hacked as an excuse to smear my name. And it was getting worse. Her employer, a small marketing firm, saw the public posts and the drama that followed. Once they realized she was behind it, They suspended her for unprofessional online conduct. The irony? She'd once told me she wanted to specialize in brand management. Now she was the cautionary tale about reputation. I didn't gloat. I didn't post anything. I didn't even talk about it to anyone who wasn't directly involved. I just detached. I changed my number, updated my address, and deleted every photo of us. The apartment felt colder for a while, sure, but quieter too. Peaceful. A week later, I received one last message from her, through email this time, since she couldn't reach me otherwise. Subject: I ruined everything. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want you to know I'm sorry. I never thought you'd actually leave. I thought you'd yell, and we'd fight, and then things would go back to normal. But you didn't yell. You just ended it. That silence hurt worse than anything. I didn't respond. Some people deserve closure. Others just need consequences. Final update. It's been almost 8 months since everything happened. Sometimes it feels like a lifetime ago. Other times, like it all happened last week. I moved cities. Not far. Just enough to breathe different air, see unfamiliar faces, and build something that was entirely mine. Work's been going well. The irony? I now consult for companies on digital privacy and reputation management. I help people protect themselves from exactly what Lena did to me. And every time I explain how to track login history or IP activity, there's a small part of me that remembers that night at her parents' table. The difference is, I don't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. Last month, I was invited to speak at a networking event for startups. After my talk, there was a small reception. And that's where I saw her. Lena. She looked smaller somehow. Not physically, but in presence. The confident, loud woman I once knew was gone. She stood near the corner of the room, holding a glass of water, avoiding eye contact with almost everyone. I didn't approach her. I didn't need to. But fate has a dark sense of humor. She noticed me. Her expression froze, then softened. And for a split second, it felt like the entire room disappeared, like time folded in on itself. She walked up slowly, voice barely above a whisper. Hey. I nodded. Hey. You look good, she said. Thanks, I replied. You too. Then silence. She finally spoke again. I heard you're doing really well. You always were good with details. I smiled a little. Details keep people honest. Her eyes dropped. She took a deep breath. I'm sorry. For everything. I know I've said it before, but I needed to say it to your face. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized something. I didn't hate her. I didn't even resent her anymore. She was just a chapter. A messy, painful, necessary chapter. It's okay, I said softly. You don't owe me anything anymore. For a second, I saw tears in her eyes. But I didn't stay to see them fall. I excused myself, stepped outside, and felt the cold night air hit my face. It was the kind of quiet you don't get in relationships built on noise. My phone buzzed, a message from someone new. Just a simple dinner tomorrow? I smiled. Sure, I texted back. Not because I needed to prove I'd moved on, but because I finally had. As I walked down the street, I thought back to something Lena once said when we were still together. You're too calm. You never fight for me. She was wrong. I did fight, just not with shouting or anger. I fought by walking away, by choosing peace over chaos, truth over performance. And in the end, that's the fight I won.